lot of people ask me why I only draw faces. Well, actually, I don't draw faces all the time. I do mostly draw faces, but I also like drawing landscapes and animals sometimes and other objects. I grew up drawing sea animals and military vehicles and soldiers and things along those lines. That's what really inspired me as a kid. But there was something special about drawing faces that just always reinvites me and is always fascinating to me. As humans, we are extremely sensitive to what seems to be a face. It's the most recognizable thing that we can even comprehend. Even a newborn baby can understand the difference between its mom's face and a random stranger. And that's no coincidence. Biblically speaking, somebody's face is their glory. Even God's face shining upon somebody means a blessing. That's because that's His glory. So for humans, we share in that. That's a really cool thing. Our glory is our face, and our recognition, or who we are, is seen through the face. Have you ever looked at a car, saw the headlights, the bumper, and just imagined that it was a face? Or even saw a face in the clouds, saw a face in something inanimate? Even a drawing is inanimate, but we can see the faces in it. And that's not by chance, that's something intentional. We're able to apply that which we know best to a lot of things. You don't even have to be an artist or a painter or a sculptor to know when something's wrong with the face. If there's a face that's been drawn and it's not drawn accurately to proportion or accurately to value or something along those lines, it's really easy to pick up on, even when you're not a professional artist. You know something's wrong. You might not figure out the exact mistake, but even a child can see that it's incorrect. That's because of our sensitivity to portraits, to faces. So drawing through faces, I think that we can create the most emotional, penetrating, and deep images. Every single changing emotion in the person's face reflects upon us, the viewer. And to take that even deeper, my method is to create part of the face and to leave the rest of the piece abstract. The reason I do that is because I want to show enough of the face that it anchors the viewer to know what the subject matter is. Not completely abstract where they might go wayward from where I intend, but they'll be ushered into the direction that I want them to take the piece and I want the viewer to explore. And once they find that direction, which is that part of the face, now they can explore the abstract elements of the piece in their own identity, in their own direction that is not completely controlled by me. That's when the viewer takes part in the piece. I want my artwork to be synergistic in the way that I create it and the viewer pushes the piece to the next level by interacting with it. Even sometimes when I look at some of my work and I try to study it and try to figure out what that piece is for me, it changes. It changes when I create it, and then when I look at it the next day, the piece might be completely different by then for me. At one point, maybe it was extremely, extremely dark. The next day, I see the piece coming together in a way that is uplifting, inspiring even. I think that's the beauty of having abstract elements and chaotic elements and expression in the artwork. It's not a photo. There's a human element to the creative process. There's a human element to the hand going across the picture plane. That's where the creativity happens. It comes from the subconscious. It's almost uncontrolled. It's ultimately controlled by who we are more than it is controlled by our thoughts. It's the least intentional human thing that I can accomplish, so I try to embrace that. Now, I'm sure you can think of a lot of different abstract artists, but one thing that they do all have in common is that they don't necessarily create familiarity with our experiences. Maybe they do in our thoughts at times, and maybe not, but that's very subjective. There's an objective anchoring to a face or a portrait that we all physically, literally experience. I think there's something powerful about combining that and blending it with the power of abstract artwork. Regardless of how many faces I draw, how many portraits I create, I still don't reach the goal that I'm trying to achieve with the effectiveness of drawing the face, the accuracy of the face, and the emotional abstract elements, the moving elements on the piece. There's this goal, there's this reaching of the potential of the artwork that I never quite grasp in any of my pieces. Some more successful than others, but I never quite reach exactly where I'm trying to go. I'm starting to fear a little bit that that's going to be the case forever until I stop creating art, whether that's tomorrow, tonight, or in 30, 40, 50 years. But that's okay. I think that's the whole point. Pursuing that which moves us most. It's almost a spiritual, soul-like appearance to the works that can't be quite accomplished the way we desire it. Almost like we're created eternal beings now, yet to experience that. Like if our soul will continue on and our bodies won't, which I think is actually pretty accurate. So the closer I get to achieving that goal, the further it actually appears to be, the further I know and I'm aware of how far I am from accomplishing that, which is quite a beautiful thing to me. If you embrace the process, embrace the journey of creating the artwork, of trying to achieve and communicate the things that you long to communicate with the viewer, then the better that is. I mean, you might not get there, but you'll get closer than you've ever been. The more you strive for it, the longer you do this for. So I think faces are one of the most powerful images in the world. Definitely the most recognizable thing for the human. I mean, if you think of the person you love most, you see their face. And that's the strongest of our emotions. Love, hate, happiness, anger, joy, sadness, all of those are associated with other beings, other people, other faces.